Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Students for Political Engagement. So today we're interviewing Nishad, who is the North candidate for YRDSB Student Trustee in the 2024 to 2025 school year. So to start us off, do you want to give us introduction of yourself?
Well, certainly. My name is Nishad Ramjit. I'm from Dr. J.M. Dennison Secondary School in Newmarket, and I'm running to be your YRDSB student trustee. I believe that as student trustee, you should be able to be open book and you should be able to listen to a wide variety of voices, but also you should be able to communicate to those wide variety of voices about what is happening in YRDSB. So my two key points on my platform are going to be that what that we should bridge the communication gap between YRDSB and its students. And along with that, we should also promote stronger and better student councils that are operational, that are democratic, and all provide a better school experience for the student body. Thank you so much.
Sounds good. So starting off, Nishad, what's inspired you to seek the position of student trustee?
Well, that's an excellent question. Well, what inspired me to seek the position was that no one at my school, there was a lot of complaints about student council. So I wanted to see what was going on. And I went in it and it was a mess between my president, my vice president, like people there weren't organized. Obviously it got better throughout time as I joined, we made multiple commitments to like inspire it. And obviously I saw that okay, there's an opportunity for me to continue and go on to this as I just went into this new school in grade 10 and I was just saying like, oh, okay, what can I do to here? What can I do to improve here? And what really inspired me was that it could help so many students as student trustee. And obviously not many people know about this, but when people know about this, it can be really a really big impact on people. And it can lead so much more of a better school experience to like even a better life overall. So that's why I chose to do. That's why I chose to rank.
Sounds good. So what qualifications and what experience do you think you have which make you suitable for the position of student trustee?
All right, another amazing question. Well, as one of my my experiences, I've been on the student council since September as an exec, offering managing a variety of events, from fundraisers to different variety of tournaments for my student body, and also I deal with managing a wide variety of like say for example competitions along with helping lead meetings alongside my vice and president as a whole. And along with that, they are really incredible people, and that's how they gave me the experience. They gave me the mentorship to come on and give me the and help them advocate for different policy changes within YRDSB. Along with that, I volunteered in a wide variety of community spaces, from libraries to different cultural and holiday events around East Wallenbury, Newmarket, Aurora, Richmond, some in Markham. And with all these different types of events, I was able to lead and manage a wide variety of people, uh, along with overall getting new experiences about what we should do as a whole to really change YRDSB and really change school life as a whole. Yeah.
Yeah, and I certainly think like there's a lot of room for the YRDSB to change and to evolve. And I think you
Yeah.
touched a bit on this in your intro. So what do you feel like are some of the things that you want to accomplish if you become student trustee?
Well, what I would like to accomplish is better, clear, and concise information from YRDSB. As a whole, the student trustee election has not been publicized. It hasn't been really shared out. It's been shared out for like, oh, here's an Instagram story about the candidates, so what they want to do in YRDSB. Oh, there's a live stream of the all panels discussion in an Instagram link in a story that's going to disappear in a couple hours. Like this isn't really what sharing information is. It's just giving them a sneak peek of what is truly YRDSB student trustee. And I know this and know there is videos explaining what it is, but YRDSB has themselves haven't explained it clearly on where their students are, because they explained it on YouTube, but they explained it a long time ago on YouTube, and I feel like it should be really updated to represent what's happening now and what YRDSB trustees can do now. And for example, YRDSB student trustees don't really have a say on the board. They're more able to communicate with the board and see how they can, again, can help out with what students really need and what they really want. And what my main goal overall, to create that bridge between YRDSB and the students and make sure that they are informed, they are prepared, and they also, again, have the opportunities to improve their school lives and like in all sorts of fun and entertaining ways. Instead of just the education, you get a little bit more. You get that experience. You get those memories that you can share for the rest of your life. That's what YRDSB should be. And that's one of my main points. While the secondary point as building better and stronger student councils through like constitution, to building that universal constitution that we'll touch up on maybe a little bit later, but also overall connecting with the YRPC and along with other councils across Europe region, because realistically these councils, a lot of them do come to the YRPC, but not all of them. And I think that our goal is to try to make sure that they are informed, that they know that YRPC is an opportunity for them, and is not just an opportunity for everyone else to just, they're not just talking for fun. They're talking for real change, and they're talking for if they want consistency in YRDSB or if they want something different. So those are my two main goals.
Yeah, I think those are pretty good goals. And I think you touched upon, an important issue in the YRDSB, which is not many people know about the role of the student trustee. And like I talk with my friends, and like not many of them know about this election or what the role does. And so what do you think can be done about that, as a trustee to increase engagement and make sure more people know about what it is that a trustee does and what your role would be and what you're doing if you were elected?
Well, that is an excellent question. How people can learn more information about this is, what I'm doing right now is by providing information. Like, I'm an open book. Everyone can DM me, everyone can just walk up to me and talk to me about this situation, but obviously it's about where they can find me. And what I've been doing is trying to promote different types of videos. Like, for example, I made a video about like what is student trustee, or like why they should care about student trustee, or like, oh, what specific like things does what student trustee help in the daily life of a student. Like, these are the types of topics that should be discussed, and that's what I'm trying to advocate. That's what I'm trying to advocate for. But I can't just do this alone. Obviously, I'm just one person, and we need cooperation with the YRPC and along with the rest of the board to do this and to make sure this occurs. And what I mean by rest of the board, I mean by other students as well, not just the Board of Trustees, not just the staff, but other students should get involved. And I think proposed an idea of trying to make an opportunity for students to, again, develop their skills in marketing and develop their skills in promotion by honestly promoting to students about these different issues, about these different opportunities, like a student trustee, and like see if they can connect with them, then they can ensure that students can get the message, clearly, and they will be learning new skills and be a part of student politics, and they'll be passionate in what they want to do in life. So so overall, what I've been saying is to advocate for student-led marketing teams and how they can be developed in the near future. Maybe.
Yeah.
But that's always something else.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting proposal. And obviously the thing with proposals is, like you said, right? Student trustees don't have a vote on the Board of Trustees. It's more of like a position where you're offering like advice on what to do. So considering that, like, you'd need to work with the broader Board of Trustees to implement your ideas. So what do you think can be done to make sure that like the Board of Trustees hears the ideas that you're proposing and the other student voices that you represent when they're making decisions?
Well, how I would address them and how I talk to them is a key aspect of making sure they listen, because they need someone that's professional, but also can advocate for can be connecting with the students, and that's what student trustee is for. How I convince them is not just about just asking them. It's about saying like, okay, this is how we can improve on this side. So we improve on student life here, while also improving on different aspects of YRDSB. Like obviously the staff is important. Different types of teachers are important. Obviously each and every student is different. And what I'm gonna try to do is connect with the board of trustees, connect with my when with other student trustee candidates. I've been advocating, been collecting student voices for the past weeks, and I've been trying to formulate them in a way that board of trustees will understand, will not understand, but will hear and will like feel the impact, like what they think about it and like how they can how can they change it for the better of students. For example, I think I heard one of my candidates talk about earlier start times, and this is a really crucial issue, and I see I see why we need this, but I think like we need to formulate it in a way that's board of trustees will understand, because obviously everyone has their own schedule, and the board of trustees definitely do have their own schedule, and we need to ensure that their schedule isn't impacted and they can benefit from this as well. And that's just an example of what one of my things would be when translating different policies from student wants to board of trustees needs.
Okay, very well said. And I do believe that is a major part of being student trustee if you are elected. Though, as an extra question, are there any additional methods you would like to implement to ensure more transparency between you as a trustee being the voice of the general student and the general student body as a whole?
That's an excellent question, and there obviously needs to be more ways that it can be transparent. But right now, as I'm in more of a secluded area, if I was in like closer to Markham, Richmond and Vaughan, I would be able to communicate with a wide variety of more students. Obviously, I love the people of the north, but it's less densely populated. And how I got into my position was, I think, was unfair. And I think that I think that everyone else should be able to know about this, but not enough people are voting. Not enough people are running in the north, and that's a crucial issue. And it made it easy for me to win. But the problem is that I think more student voice should come out from the north, and some more student voice should come out from different secluded areas, like from like Keswick, Southern. These are some high schools further up north. Uh, uh, King City. Like these are different high schools that also like they care about their education, but they are not very impactful about some voices. I could keep on listing, but there's always different problems, and that we need to, again, become as transparent as possible. So if I was located within these population centers, I would be more transparent. But trying to collect student voice right now is really hard. Is hard in a way that I was only communicating through social media and for the rest of the rest of my school. And that's really how I can only improve. I think I'm always open to more improvements. I'm always open to criticism. People can always like, okay, I don't disagree with this idea. They can talk to me about it. I don't disagree with that idea of yours. Okay, let's see if we can come to a common solution about the situation, about this problem. And how I want to open it is by being able to talk to them, be able to meet with them, and insert and expanding that transparency could be through social media, but it could be opening up to different varieties of social medias, which YRDSB could do, but it will require a lot of effort and it will require a lot of push towards it. So say for example, YouTube for YouTube and stuff. They have a YouTube account, but the videos of student trustee videos and like the all panel discussion were unlisted. So not enough students were able to like get into it. And by removing those variables, we'll be able to, again, make sure that students can see it and have the opportunity to hear about it. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I
thank
think
you.
that's certainly an issue because I remember in previous student trustee elections, I think the videos were actually public, and like obviously now it's unlisted, and I think that can be found on like the board website, but like it takes a lot of effort to
Yeah.
find it and to access it. So I think another part of like accessibility that you were talking about previously was student councils, and you said you wanted, to make improvements in student councils to make them more democratic and like make their constitutions more secure. So do you want to, go into that more in
Oh
detail?
yeah. Yeah, I'll go into more detail. So with student councils, I when I went to YRPC for one of the very first times earlier this year, I was just getting involved. I was just like listening to the ideas of other student councils, and there's a lot of variety. There's a very big difference between how one student council works at one school to another school council works at one school, and it makes it hard to relate to like, okay, in a school in the north compared to one in downtown Markham, that could be really different from that could be really different in a way that, okay, this one will have more people, more funding, more ability to run events, run variety events. While in the north, there's like less people, less funding, still can run the same events, but not as a massive scale. Which obviously that's fair. It's fair by population, but we need to ensure that are the same. Rules are the same in a way that they can apply to north schools and north schools, central schools, east and west, wherever they are, wherever the student council is, they'll be able to apply it. And the rules don't. And right now there isn't really a guideline. There's a wide variety of positions. The only positions that are really consistent on all student councils are president and vice president, which honestly, which honestly doesn't really be able to give like the really factor to like, okay, what is our common goal? What is the true common goal of student council? In my opinion, it's to improve school spirit. But in other opinions, it could be like, oh, to help students get better in academics, or to help help students in help students do better in sports. It could be a wide variety of things depending on which school you go to and depending on how they address it. And I think we need to come to a common solution. I need to come to a common answer within YRDSB. Obviously, there are policies supposed to be like, okay, all students need to be all student councils need to be democratic. All student council needs to be health needs to be able to be that anyone can run for it. Anyone can fill in that position. And if they are good enough and if they are like skilled enough, they'll be able to hold on to that position and improve their school significantly with that position. But right now, it's not really like that. There is schools that aren't showing student council, that aren't like, okay, their student council is weaker than, say for example, a different council that's like the main thing. Like for example, the drama council could be more important than the student council, or the athletic council can be more important than the student council, even though the student council is supposed to be the glue that connects all the councils, and that they should be equal to them and also be able to collaborate with all these councils instead of just being a side product of that school, or just an opportunity for students to just get some more volunteer hours or something like that. It should be more about providing a better forum for other students. You kind of get what I mean with that?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I see.
yeah, and we do agree as well. And you also mentioned the fact that a lot of events, both board hosted and student council hosted, are effectively flying under the radar in almost all of York region. So,
Yeah.
do you have any plans or ideas for how we're possibly able to increase both student involvement and community involvement in these events?
With that, I do. When tracking back to one of my ideas, I said about the opportunity of student-led marketing teams and how they can again, if students market to students, I think they can be more relatable. It can be show the events in a different light. But I know that isn't just enough to explore these events and develop these events to like different demographics of students, different opportunity students, and obviously it varies between school and school for the student council events. But for board events, I think what we could do is that we could again work with the YRDSB, work with again. Well, obviously we're going to be working with the YRDSB, but we need to make sure that their social media is up to date. They're not they're I don't want to be they're more relatable to their students. Like right now, it feels very corporate. It feels like we're talking to just a bigger governing body. But I know YRDSB is it, but if it just relates to a student a tiny bit more through social media, relates through a wide variety of social media, like again, opening up their YouTube, making sure that opening up their YouTube, allowing for a wide variety of apps to be allowed, but also providing that education on it. Because overall, the goal of YRDSB is to provide excellent education to all its students. And we're coming into an age where lots of things are online, lots of things are definitely needed to be said, and they need to be said online. But no one, education as a whole has been stagnated to the point where we're just getting into Chromebooks. We're just getting into the idea of writing essays online, and we're entering different eras where students are surpassing their teachers in technological ability, which that it should be the case, but it should be not such a big gap as like, oh, teacher doesn't know when the student uses AI, or when a student tries to explain to the concept online that they don't really know about that. And I think providing greater education about this could make these events more open and more accessible and more entertaining through social media and through the education provided at these schools.
Yeah, very well said, and I do agree. So for one of our last few questions, just as a more individual and personal question, so what sets you apart as a human being, as an individual from other candidates who are running for this position as well alongside you?
You know, that's a really good question. What sets me apart is that as all these other people are really invested in politics, like you guys are the students of political engagement. Like I was honored to be here, but I didn't really know about this. No, what sets me apart is that I was I wasn't involved with the YRPC before this. I was involved only this year. I my lack of experience probably would set me apart. This you think it as a weakness, but I think it could be positive because I could bring fresh eyes on the table. It could bring new opportunity, a new point from students, and how students could see me as like, oh, he's unexperienced, but he knows what students need and what students wants. Like that's also another part is that I've been trying to communicate for a wide variety of students, and I communicated with several boards in the past, some students in the different boards, like in Waterloo, TDSB, Peel, Durham, these different parts in these different parts of Ontario. I talked to students there, and they're like, "Oh, different experiences are different here. Oh, this issue is prioritized there. This issue is prioritized there. People don't really care about student council here. People care about student council here." And obviously, these are things that need to be said, and that's what I can offer. I can offer communication to these students across Ontario, and I can also be that person at home, representing all the students at the same time, without being so different with like, oh, I'm somehow better with experience. Like I'm definitely not. Definitely I'm definitely inexperienced, but that inexperience comes with other experiences in the past that I did, such as like just talking to a wide variety of people, within the region, like just outside of school, outside of YRDSB. That could give me the edge. That could give me the spark that I need to win this election, and overall collaborate with more variety of people than ever before.
Yeah, and I definitely think that, different perspectives are a very important part of what makes a student trustee, because obviously the board is consistent of many different diverse viewpoints that all need to be considered and taken into account at the board table. So I think we've discussed a lot about your ideas and what you want to do as trustee. So just sort of like as a closing message, if you could just say one message to like everybody in the YRDSB, what would you say about this election and about your candidacy?
All right. So what I would say, YRDSB needs to communicate with the students. They need to be able to just talk to the students and not just student trustees. The YRPC should have a direct member on the board of trustees. The YRPC needs to be more valued, and they need to be respected way more on the YRDSB board than they are. Their opinions matter, and as students, that is probably one of the outlooks YRDSB has given us to say our voice. And I think YRDSB needs to, again, just actively listen, and also don't just to be better. That's all. It just needs to ensure that YRDSB as a whole improves, but it's not all just about change. It's also about consistency with the past, and like how there are some things in the past that were really good, and that YRDSB removed for certain different reasons. And I think we can get past that, but we can also continue to change and continue to improve. And I'll start with that, is communicating more with the students. And as student trustee, I would communicate solely. I will be the open book. I will be the megaphone for students, and I can be the speaker. I can be the one holding the megaphone. I can be the one aiding that student to bringing their voice onto the table. But it's not just about the student trustees that do it. It's the board that can ultimately have the power to be like, your voice matters and your voice needed or not. So that's my final message. So please vote for YRDSB student trustee on the 20th. And I think we talked enough. I think we need more action. So that's enough talk. Let's act.
Yeah. And where can people go if they want to, learn more about your candidacy?
Oh, excellent question. They can come to my Instagram page at Nishad Ramjit, and they can also just if they see me in the halls of Denison, ask one of their friends. There's plenty of my friends at Denison that are just telling me about all these people with amazing ideas, and I just want to talk to them. But if just to ask them to reach out, like I'm able to reach out any point, anytime. Maybe mostly on my Instagram, but they can also reach out on a wide variety of outlets for their friends, and like for mouth to mouth, and that's what I am, and that's how they can reach and address their issues.
All right, and like you said, voting is from February the 20th to February the 22nd. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us today, and I think we'll end it there.